Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right in to decode the absolutely fascinating psychology of people who, somehow, against all odds, remain perfectly calm during a crisis. Seriously, have you ever noticed that no matter how massive a problem gets or how fast a situation completely spirals out of control, there are just certain individuals who never, ever panic? They don't shout, they don't wait around for a rescuer, they just handle it. We all know one, right? That person who could probably negotiate world peace while effortlessly fixing a leaky faucet. So today we're going to explore the architecture of this mindset and figure out exactly what makes them tick. Okay, let's dive into this. I really want you to picture that one highly reliable person in your life right now. Maybe it's a colleague, a family member, or a best friend. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The person who quietly handles every disaster without even breaking a sweat or asking for help, acting like they've somehow navigated this exact crisis 100 times before. You kind of have to wonder, how on earth are they so remarkably calm while literally everyone else is losing their minds? Which brings us to Section 1, the calm in chaos, decoding the mindset. Well, psychology actually tells us that this incredible calmness isn't just some magic personality trait we're born with. Actually, scratch that. It's more like a deeply ingrained psychological pattern they developed a long time ago. These folks often become what psychologists call the guardian. Basically, a guardian is a person who feels entirely responsible for maintaining stability and making sure everyone around them is okay. Think of that person who instantly grabs the mop when a glass shatters at a party while the rest of us just freeze and stare at the mess. When things go sideways, guardians don't just passively watch, they jump straight in. And here is the truly wild part. They do this even when it is absolutely not their responsibility. They operate under the strict internal rule. If I'm here, things are going to be fine, and I simply won't let others suffer on my watch. Moving right along to Section 2, Origins of the Fixer, Learning to Solve. So where does this reflex come from? How does someone learn to automatically solve problems like this? Well, these problem solvers didn't usually grow up in those ready-made, picture-perfect environments where everything was just handed to them. Often, they learned incredibly early on that no one is coming to save the day. When something breaks, they have to fix it themselves. And this brilliantly illustrates their timeline. Early in life, no one comes to help. Then, as we move forward, there's a gradual shift where problem-solving just becomes their normal. What started as a gritty childhood necessity literally transforms into how they operate. While others look around for a lifeline, their brain automatically fires off, okay, how do I fix this? Finally, over time, it cements into a core identity. They officially become the reliable one. It's a really powerful evolution from pure self-reliance into a full-blown adult identity. That leads perfectly into Section 3, the illusion of control. Comfort in certainty. We really need to unpack the mechanics of why fixing things makes these individuals feel so incredibly safe and grounded. Honestly, it all boils down to how the human brain processes uncertainty. For most of us, our brains deeply hate uncertainty. When faced with the unknown, our amygdala, the brain's threat detection center, fires off distress signals, making us super uncomfortable. But for the fixer, fixing equals order, control, and ultimately safety. Because living with uncertainty is biologically unbearable for them, they've learned to dive headfirst into problems just to convert chaotic disorder into safe, manageable order. The second they step in and handle a situation, the chaos evaporates. That feeling of control is exactly what anchors them in a storm. They don't run from problems because to them, control is safety. And here's how that actually looks in real time during a crisis. When disaster strikes, the normal response is highly emotional. Most people panic and immediately think, why me? But the fixer, they have this fascinating ability to instantly pause their emotions. It's like a switch flips in their brain, totally bypassing the panic and moving straight to a solutions-based mindset. They coolly ask, okay, what can I do right now? What are my options? This remarkable ability to just put emotions on hold is exactly what allows them to make instant, rational decisions and perform exceptionally well under extreme pressure. But it's not all positive. Let's look at Section 4, the hidden dark side, the emotional toll. While everything we've talked about so far sounds like an absolute superpower, there is a very heavy emotional toll here. We have to acknowledge the hidden frustrations and the sheer overwhelming exhaustion this coping mechanism brings. First off, because they hit pause on their emotions in the moment, those unprocessed feelings build up intensely inside over time. Second, they experience this agonizing discomfort with waiting. Not all problems can be solved right this second. Some just takes time. But sitting around waiting is absolute torture for a fixer. Third, their mind just loops on unresolved issues. Think of it like a computer with 50 processor-heavy tabs open in the background. It constantly drains their mental battery because their brain only finds peace once a problem is totally solved and closed out. And finally, the most painful side effect, trying to fix people who just don't want to change. They try to repair broken relationships or fix upset friends, and they end up trapping themselves in an endless cycle of anxiety when the other person simply doesn't want a repair plan. Now, what's really fascinating about this mindset is how it breeds a fairly dangerous core belief. They start to think, I'm very useful, so my value is high. When these individuals jump in to help, people naturally shower them with praise. They hear things like, wow, without you, this never would have gotten done. Over time, that external appreciation becomes their entire identity. To keep getting that praise and to keep feeling valuable, they subconsciously and constantly seek out broken things and broken people to repair. It turns their helpful nature into this exhausting treadmill that they feel like they just can't step off of. So how do we fix the fixer? That's Section 5, Breaking the Fixing Cycle, Finding Freedom. If you're watching this and thinking, oh wow, this is entirely me, I want to validate your experience right now. This habit of yours, it is a huge strength. It's a survival pattern that makes you incredibly capable and gives you freedom. But man, it also deeply, deeply tires you out. Fixing everything is just not your responsibility. So how do we break the cycle? Well, here are 4 steps to reclaim your energy. Step 1, acknowledge the exhaustion. You have to admit that you're tired. Step 2, allow some problems time to resolve. Remember that waiting is totally okay. Time itself is a valid solution. Step 3, accept people rather than trying to change them. Some people really just want your acceptance, not your solutions. And step 4, give yourself permission to rest. You are a human being who deserves breaks, and you have the absolute right to ask for help yourself. So the crucial point is this: not every problem demands a solution. Realizing the immense power of simply letting things be is a complete game changer. Sometimes the most heroic, powerful thing a problem solver can do is absolutely nothing at all. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. I want to leave you with a final provocative question. Are you the reliable one? Do you see yourself in these psychological patterns we've outlined today? Take a moment to really reflect on your own habits, and if this resonated with you, let us know and answer the question in the comments below. We would absolutely love to hear about your experiences. Thank you so much for joining me to decode this fascinating mindset, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.